All right, and welcome into the Betting Pros College Football Show. It's our Parlays of Week 1 episode, a new addition to our offers for y'all this season. That's right, each week we'll be giving you our top college football parlays. We'll also be tracking the results so we can share the ups and the downs with all of you, the Betting Pros family. I'm your host, Seth Woolcock, once again joined by my co-host, Scott Bogman and Terrell Furman Jr. And before we jump into this week's plays, let's look back to the Week 0 parlays where Terrell, you were the big winner here, man. Iowa State money line with that Hawaii money line, sweaters on both sides of it, but you come home with a plus 306 ticket in your back pocket. How's it feel, man?
Oh, it feels great. It feels great, especially because I got the amazing sweat of, an absolutely dog in Hawaii's quarterback for muscling through on one leg to go get the win in that game.
And the YouTube kicker knocking it through. God, what a fun story.
Yep, love college football. Love college football.
Well, glad you're back with us. Glad you're vibing as the season's starting. And we still got to figure out a punishment idea for this show. Some ideas, Bogman, that were flying out there. Someone said we should maybe try to sneak into our closest FBS stadium in the offseason and record it. I thought that was a decent idea.
On that one.
What
else do we have?
Is that a trespass
what do we have
charge?
that's not committing a crime?
All of them were borderline illegal, so we're going to be still open to suggestions here. Drop them in, and as long as they're like 99.5% legal, I'm for it. So
I think it should be Terrell or I have to shave our beard and Seth has to grow one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because Seth can't even grow one.
That's the
I
funniest part.
I can grow it. I think I've matured enough. I am ready to. I just shave often because it looks weird. But maybe the fine folks can hold it down and put up with my shagginess. Boggs, you and we are starting behind the fold here with your over coming through for the Sam Houston State WKU game, but Kansas State does fall to Iowa State in that game, causing your plus 261 parlay at DraftKings to fall just short.
Yeah, man, what a great game. We had such a fun time going back and forth in our chat talking about this game as well, because you and I were on the K-State side and Terrell was on the Iowa State side. And listen, this game could have completely flipped if Dylan Edwards has hurt his ankle on his first kick return. But what was really the difference was we saw that offensive line look awful in the first half. I bet you were sweating at that point, Terrell, because a bunch of sacks of your boy, your Lord and Savior, Rocco Becht, lots of sacks at him in the first half. But that second half, oh my God, run over the right side was like Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl. Like Carson Hansen just 8 yards, 8 yards, 8 yards, 8 yards. K-State could not slow it down. That was a big difference in the game, and Iowa State comes away with that big dub. But I felt good about the process, obviously. Process over results. But it's always nice to win, and I was happy to see Terrell start with that big dub. So love it when my friends can line those bank account numbers. We like that.
Agreed. I gotta get back into the winning side of things too. The UNLV alt spread didn't even come close to hitting against Idaho State. And Sam Houston State, well, they had us in the first half, right? But Western Kentucky, they roared back, and I don't get that alt spread there either. Yeah, MacGyver was great coming up from the FCS level. So Terrell, you are the winner. You are the defending champion coming in
this week. This week we can all be winners because we're not going head to head with each other. So.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Way more to choose
from.
Yeah. We had someone comment on the video something like, "Oh, it's going to be a good week to not bet when the BP parlays are on opposite sides of the same game." So we'll try to avoid that. And Terrell, since you are hot on the scene right now, why don't you start us out with your favorite parlay for college football week number 1 of the 2025 season?
All right, I decided to go one game a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. One game a day. Sunday, we become winners because Friday is Colorado going up against Georgia Tech, and I'm taking Colorado plus 4.5. Deion Sanders, 4-0 ATS as a home dog. Caden Salter is a great quarterback coming over from Liberty. I think that this is the best offensive line that Deion has had here, and despite not having the proven weapons on the outside, I think Salters is that good of a quarterback that he's going to show the world here in this home spot. Deion coaches his team up as a home dog. I like that. And then you all know how I feel about my Utah Utes. Utah Utes laying 5.5 against UCLA. Nico left Tennessee in the middle of the night after having a temper tantrum, and he comes over and he thinks he's just going to be big dog on campus at UCLA. No, 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 no. Devon Dampier coming over with this OC for this Utah team, and he also brings a 700-yard receiver in Ryan Davis as well. The offensive line we know for Utah is amazing. The offensive line is a question mark for UCLA. Plus, you got to go against that Utah defense that is nasty. Last 7 games between these two teams, Utah is 6-1 ATS. They're going to get it done here. I like Utah laying 5.5 for leg number 2 and leg number 3, because I told you I'm giving you 3. I only gave you 2 last week because it was week 0, but 3. Sunday, we close the parlay out with Bill Belichick and UNC plus 3.5. I'm telling you, TCU's quarterbacks are not prepared for the defense that Bill Belichick is going to throw at them. He has the talent. He has the scheme. This UNC team is going to be a lot better. They're at home, and they've been prepping for this all season. It's been talk about Bill all off season. I'm not a believer in Sonny Dykes and his TCU squad. I think they are very, very, very average at best. And I think the defense is going to be there. So I like that. All that together, Colorado plus 4.5, Utah minus 5.5, and UNC plus 3.5, 584 parlay.
Wow. Big ticket, over 5-1 odds for our man Terrell. Before we get to Boggs and I's parlays for week 1, I wanted to remind everyone that you can actually track line movement in real time with the BettingPros app. Download the free BettingPros app for iOS or Android, and with Sportsbook Sync, you can actually automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in just one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and even parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. Get a 7-day free trial of BettingPros Premium by downloading the app at bettingpros.com/apps, using the code JUICE, and activating your trial on the upgrade screen. All right, Bogman. You're swinging a bat. It's not a hot one, but we're hoping it gets hot here in week number 1. What do you have for us, my friend?
Yeah, I talked about my favorite bet of the week on the first show, on the Wednesday show we did earlier. Indiana, I'm laying a lot of points here. It's Indiana minus 23.5. Cignetti has had a history of putting the boots to opponents that cannot help themselves. He's not going to give them any runway either. So victories last season of more than this spread of 23.5 against teams like UCLA, Michigan State, Nebraska, Purdue. So I just think that with an improved offense, Mendoza coming over, Surratt with another year, a lot of the O-line coming back, transfers on defense. They have a lot of returning production on both sides of the ball as well. Playing a weak Old Dominion team whose best player, Jason Henderson, hasn't played for a year, right? Like, I think that ODU snuck up on South Carolina, so there is some money flowing towards ODU in this game. They say, hey, look, Ricky Ronnie had them right there, right? But I don't think that's going to happen against Coach Sig. So that's the first half. The other half, we're going to lay a bunch of points again. We're going to lay a bunch of points. Arizona at home hosting Hawaii. Hawaii did win that game last week, but I guarantee you that Terrell would not sit here and tell you that he is now confident in Hawaii at all, right? That was a very sweat bet. The quarterback got hurt. They had the lowest time of possession of the week. I believe they held the ball for fewer than 23 minutes in this game. They're on the road in Arizona where it's projected to be 94 degrees at kickoff.
Wow.
So I think in Tucson, the Wildcats are going to be used to this weather. Hawaii flying in late because they already had a game. I think it's going to take them a little bit to get adjusted to that weather. And if the defense is on the field that much again against a team that is better offensively than Stanford. Now, look, this is a weak team. I'm not sitting here telling you Arizona is a strong team, but Noah Fafita starts again for this team. They brought in some transfers, including Chris Hudson, the number 2 guy from Mateer at Washington State last year. They plugged some holes on defense with transfers as well. I just think Arizona is a much, much better team than Hawaii is. And if that defense is going to be on the field a lot, I think they're going to get sweated out. I think we're going to be going to the YouTube guys on the defensive line as well, not just the kicker for Hawaii if it gets too hot in Arizona. So, yeah, give me the Wildcats, give me the Hoosiers, and lay a bunch of points. But that gets you to plus what did I put down here? Plus 264. Another one that I like, I'm just waiting for these numbers to get better. If you want to go look at the alt line as well, I kind of like Sam Houston at home. They're catching 9.5 against UNLV, who we saw look bad last week. Maybe that was an aberration, but this could flow more towards double digits. I like that as well. And Maryland, a team that lost a lot, right? But playing another weak opponent in FAU, the line right now is 14.5. Let's get that to 13.5. Those are a couple other games I would like to tease as well, or pair, parlay, see if the line moves as well. So those are the ones I'm into, but my official one is I'm laying a bunch of points, Indiana and Arizona.
Okay. My parlay for week number 1 of the college football season, of course, had to start with a little bit of action going down. Buffalo versus Minnesota. I'm taking the all under 47.5 minus 174 at FanDuel. Both these teams in Buffalo and Minnesota, very run-heavy, run-first teams. They were outside the top 68 in scoring offense last season. Minnesota has Darius Taylor, who, if you're a fantasy guy, you're going to hear his name a lot. He's one of the best running backs in the nation. Buffalo, meanwhile, they have Aljae Henderson in their backfield. He went for 1,000 yards last year. And at quarterback, Buffalo now transitioning. They have Taquan Robertson, college journeyman, former Penn State backup quarterback. Seen him in some live action a few times in replacement for some Penn State quarterbacks that we will not name on this program anymore because we're trying to look into the future. But Minnesota's games against non-Big Ten FBS schools last year averaged 32.3 points. And Buffalo's one game against a Power 4 school last year had just 38 points in that game scored, getting blanked by Mizzou. So I honestly would feel just as good as running the original under out there, but I do like to buy back a couple points here in a parlay, but I will be betting that under straight as well. For leg 2, then, give me the Alabama alt spread minus 9.5 points versus Florida State, minus 174. Florida State 2-8-2 ATS last season, 4th worst clip in the FBS, and they're starting with an SEC opponent here in Alabama that is going to be really tough to go up against when you're not prepared. And I don't want to say that Mike Norvell is not going to have his guys up to speed here, but he didn't seem to have it last year ready to go. And against non-SES FBS opponents in the regular season, Alabama won by an average of 40 points last year. The only non-ACC opponents the Seminoles faced, meanwhile, Memphis, they lost there by 8 points. Notre Dame, they lost there by 49 points. And Florida, they lost by 20 points. So Alabama is a team, I think, with a new conventional trigger man on the quarterback position there in Ty Simpson. I think that it's going to actually run a little bit smoother there. They have one of the best lines in the country as well. So no fear of a letdown spot. Georgia's way down the line for them. So give me Alabama there. And then give me the Notre Dame money line, minus 137 against Miami. This is my biggest bet of the week, and I'm absolutely here for it. 12-3-1 last season was Notre Dame against the spread, 80% cover rate. They were really strong down the stretch despite injuries on the offensive line, the defensive line. Jeremiah Love was not 100% healthy in that stretch in the CFP as well. And they were a much better team last year. I think the returning players are in the positions that matter, in the trenches, in the skill positions. Miami, meanwhile, they've lost so much at quarterback, at receiver, at tight end, at running back. I don't think Carson Beck's going to be enough to improve this team. And I just think he's a guy who cowers in big spots. Meanwhile, CJ Carr, he's at least been in the system. He has full confidence of Marcus Freeman. So let's go ahead. We're going to run it back here with the Notre Dame money line, minus 137. Alabama alt spread against Florida State, minus 174. And then that alt under in Minnesota and Buffalo on Thursday night, minus 174. That's getting me parlay odds of plus 328. That's coming for you at FanDuel. So, gentlemen, good luck. Best of luck to you here as we approach week 1 of the season. That is going to do it for us on this episode of the Betting Pros College Football Show. Let us know down below in the comments your favorite week 1 parlays and which one of us you're tailing or fading. And while you're here, make sure you're smashing that like button and subscribing if you're new. For Scott Bogman and Terrell Furman Jr., I'm Seth Woolcock. Take care, y'all.